how important is it for them to, especially if they're in business, how important is it for them to go out there and be seen?
Very important, especially if you work in a business development capacity or if you're self-employed.
Welcome to another episode of Becoming Consciousness with Sharika. My name is Sharika Swaby, your certified life coach who specializes in mental wellness and spiritual alignment. I'm also a mentor, a author, speaker, the host of this show, a realtor, and a list of other things, right? My guest today operates over 250 WhatsApp groups. If you can think of a category,
300.
Oh, there you go. Your bio says 250, so you need to update that.
I create WhatsApp groups every day. I've just created one just now.
Right. Okay, so if you can think of a category, this guy probably has something for you. He was recently awarded Networker of the Year by Speakers Are Leaders Bureau. His ideal client is the 20% of the population who hates to network. Marc Jarrett, welcome to Becoming Consciousness with Sharika.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's been a long time coming, so I'm glad you're finally here. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. Never a dull moment in the wonderful world of virtual networking.
Okay, I can imagine. You must meet some interesting people.
I certainly do. I call them rock stars.
Okay, all right. So tell us a little bit about yourself prior to your networking career and how did you get to be here? Tell us a little bit about you, some background so people can relate.
Sure. So I spent most of my career in telecoms. WhatsApp is, of course, a telecoms product. About 20 years ago, I was first to market in the UK with ringtones and logos. It only worked with Nokia, but back then Nokia had about 50% market share. And then about 10 years ago, I launched the world's first celebrity chat line. If you go to YouTube and search for Dialer Star, that was me. And the idea was to raise money for charity by calling and speaking to your favorite celebrity. WhatsApp is owned by Meta, Facebook, and it's a telecoms product. And I'm now using WhatsApp to connect people. At the end of the day, business boils down to two things, and that's people and trust. So what I've done is created and curated this enormous ecosystem of amazing thought leaders and entrepreneurs throughout the world, and created an environment where they feel safe to engage with one another, and then the business comes later. So I'm all about relationship building.
Okay. All right. I get that. I understand the part about relationships and trust and business. But how do you... Before I ask you that question, what made you want to be a networker?
Well, I've been networking all my life. I'm just one of those people that enjoys connecting people. And when I was having a shower a few years ago, I thought to myself, why don't I do what I really enjoy doing professionally? And that's what I'm now doing. I'm now networking for people, because about 1 in 5 people hate networking. They're more than happy to have a one-to-one. It's just that they don't enjoy the process of getting to that one-on-one through networking. So if they hire me, I just network for them and tenaciously seek out the kind of people they need to meet to help meet their business goals. But most people quite like networking, but they just don't have the time. It's quite time consuming. So if I network for them, I save them time. And time is
Money.
money.
Okay. And as we can see, you enjoy doing this. But when you are putting these people together in these different groups, how do you validate them that they are upstanding people, they are not loafers or scammers? How do you validate these people?
Well, what you just said is very important because I only need one scammer to ruin it for everyone. So
Yes.
someone introduced someone to me this morning, but
Mhm.
because I really trust her, I don't really need to do any due diligence on the person she's introduced me to because I trust her. A lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn, which, as you know, is the world's largest social media platform for business professionals. And the first thing I do is have a look who's recommended them. If there's no recommendations, that's a red flag, and I won't let them in. And but if they've got 10 or 20 recommendations, that's fine. And then I invite them in. The network is invite only, which makes it what?
Validated, because everyone would have been validated by someone you already met and know.
I was looking for one word.
Okay, I don't know.
If it's invite only, it's exclusive.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. So
Okay,
you're in several of my groups.
I am.
You're in Yaman, which is all about getting people on the island with Jamaican heritage to business on to network, basically.
Right.
Leadership, global business authors, startup superstars, property, and you're what's known as a lurker. And
How so?
there are two types of lurker. The first type is someone like you who's busy, got a busy life. They just don't have the time to network in WhatsApp groups. That's forgivable. What isn't forgivable is the second type of lurker who basically sees what's going on, doesn't engage. But lurkers are the bane of my life. I
I
want
can imagine.
engaged people.
And do you have a lot of lurkers like myself?
Yes, because only about 10% of people network effectively in WhatsApp groups. Because WhatsApp groups are quite random and chaotic. It's not for everyone, but it's kind of halfway house between LinkedIn and Remo or Zoom or
Right.
Instagram, where you can actually see and hear the people. It's much more effective that way, of course. But my groups are changing people's lives, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
A lot of people met virtually in my WhatsApp groups in the pandemic, and now they're sharing photographs of them having met in real life, but they
I've
met in
seen
my...
some of those.
Yes.
I've seen some of the ones with you where you actually met the people in real life and go out and have dinner and all these things. I've seen it. I'm there, I'm looking sometimes, I'm just not all the time because sometimes a week worth of message pass before I can get to check because I'm all over the place. But I get what you're saying. How does someone is shy and not shy, but maybe they fall into the 20%. How important is it for them to, especially if they're in business, how important is it for them to go out there and be seen?
Very important, especially if you work in a business development capacity or if you're self-employed.
And what would you say they are missing out on if they're not networking?
Human connection. connections. I mean, look, human beings, we are hardwired to grow our tribe, our network.
Mm-hmm.
It's in our DNA. But in some careers, like if you like to work in a library, for example, you don't need to network. But if you're a self-employed individual like you are, it's very important to network.
Yeah, definitely. You have to, if you have to go out there, you have to meet new people, you have to introduce yourself, share your business card, talk about your social media, talk about, you definitely have to, or else you're going to be stagnant. You're not going to grow. You definitely need that. So I agree with you 100%. And I've met quite a few people from your WhatsApp groups, a number of people, a lot of people that I've had on my show, people that have bought my book, people that I've interacted with, built connections with, talked to from time to time, became friends. So I have used the group more than just lurk, but not just not consistently. Even the other day when I joined the real estate group, I now have a potential client from that. So I have been using it. I understand the importance of it. And you're definitely correct when you say self-employed people, they definitely need to network. Now, step one in networking. What is step one?
The step one is to take an interest in other people. It's not about you, it's about them. If you take an interest in other people, they will reciprocate. Networking is like opening a bank account. You cannot make a withdrawal until you've made a deposit.
Made a deposit. Okay, understand. Now, if you are not somebody who is usually social, right, and you're uncertain how to take a genuine approach towards someone else, even though it's a virtual environment, how do you make that first step? So my question was, for someone who is not social, how do they step out there and express a genuine interest in getting to know someone else?
Okay, so if they're an introvert and they don't enjoy networking, virtual networking is perfect because it's much easier for them to network this way. Also, virtual networking saves a lot of time, money, and carbon. Plus, if you go to a networking event in Jamaica, you're only going to meet people from Jamaica. If you go to WhatsApp groups, you're going to meet people from all over the world.
That's true. And another thing that I can testify, I have met people from Britain, America, of course, other Caribbean islands, Europe, different parts of Europe and Asia. I've met people from India. I've met people from all corners of even Australia. So I've met quite a bit of people through WhatsApp groups from all over the world. So you're definitely correct there. Now, so we've gone through the benefits of networking. How do you maintain these relationships after you've built them?
By keeping in touch with them, even if it's just once or twice a year, and maintaining a relationship. Networking isn't just about hunting, it's about farming.
Right. Because you want to make sure the individual know they have value to you, even when you're not in a transaction.
Yeah, so a small example might be in the run up to Christmas or at the beginning of this new year, I just reached out to my network and said, Happy New Year. I hope all your dreams come true. I hope you have the best 2023, you know, and just maintain that contact.
Right. And what's your number number one success story from networking?
I saved someone's life. She had cardiac arrest, and she found someone through the network that managed to help her. And also, I raised $1 million recently for a charity through the network.
Wow, that's amazing. Let's backtrack a little bit to the saving someone's life. Was it that they met someone in the group who was able to come to their rescue? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So they were in the same country.
Yes.
That's amazing. Was this person a health professional or just a citizen?
I think it was a health professional. I'll forward you the message that she sent me. I don't know the details, but she said my group saved her life.
Amazing. That's wonderful. How do you find the time to operate over 300 WhatsApp groups?
Well, the new messages float to the top. I just deal with them. And a lot of WhatsApp groups operate autonomously, by themselves. I don't really need to do much. And thankfully, a lot of the groups are quiet most of the time. And then occasionally there'll be a burst of activity. I don't think I could cope with 300 active WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's a lot of messages. Do you go through occasionally and like do cleanup or something like that? Or you just leave them as they are?
I'm going to do that in the Powerful Women group that you're in. And I'm going to have a purge and get rid of lurkers. You've been...
Sorry?
You've been warned.
Yes, I have been warned. Okay, now, before you got into WhatsApp networking, did you used to do physical networking events?
Not as much as I do now. Well, the thing is, when I was in telecoms, I would go to telecoms related networking events. But now I'll just go to any kind of networking event. I don't care. But as I said, of the two, I prefer virtual networking.
What would you say to the individual who prefers interacting face to face?
Continue doing that, but to complement what you're doing, start networking virtually and meet interesting people from all over the world without spending any money.
Yeah, that part. Yes, that is a plus. Definitely a plus. And communication in these days provides for that for the most part. How does one, so say somebody pops up on your WhatsApp group, how do they maximize the potential of that group? Because as you said, I'm in a couple of your WhatsApp groups. Say you were talking to me, how do I maximize on the potential that being a member of any one of your groups have to offer?
I think that the key thing is to, like, for example, when you notice that someone joins a group, welcome them, engage, take an interest in them. Because if you do that, they will reciprocate.
Okay, that's step one. What's the next step?
Post, like, if you're in the if you're in the startup superstars group, for example, if you pick up on news on CNN or wherever about an interesting new startup that's launched and it's already got a million members or something interesting, just post it as news and get a dialogue going.
Gotcha.
Have you used ChatGPT yet?
No, what is that?
It's artificial intelligence. It's incredible. It's game changing.
Is it similar to WhatsApp?
No, it's totally different. So, for example, I asked it yesterday to create a finder's fee agreement where I get 30%. Now, normally to do that would take about 2 or 3 hours because you're talking about a legal contract. It took ChatGPT 8 seconds. It's incredible.
8 seconds to create a
legal document.
A legal document. So do you tell it what you're looking for and it put it together for you?
Yes, it's game changing. Go to Google and search for ChatGPT. And by the way, I've been using it. I don't use Google anymore.
Oh, really? Okay. Interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Now, if you had been a good girl and paying attention in the groups, you would have picked up on that.
Like I said, sometimes it takes me a week to get around to the groups, and then it's so much at times. I don't have time to read all of it. But occasionally I do chime in and say a penny or two.
Yeah.
So I'm not a complete total lurker, just most of the time. Okay. So share interesting information. Anything else?
Help people, serve people.
Yeah.
That's what networking should be about. About serving.
Yeah, you are correct because last year it was last year. Last year I helped to organize a charity event. Like I found the MC, I found the person who put the whole thing together. There's the creator of the event. He has his ideas, he knows what he wants, but he needed different people to do different things. And I was able to source a few people. I tried to find entertainment, but the time that I had was not enough to allow me to do that. So I was able to find somebody to help put the event together, and she was able to find other people. So yes, you are correct. It's a good virtual networking. You meet a vast amount of people with literally an array of different personalities, different skills, different knowledge set, some really interesting people, because I've met a couple of them. I've followed a couple on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Because what I do most of the times is if they share their social media, I will follow them on Instagram and LinkedIn mostly. So most of the times I'll do that, and then I'll go and check them out. So occasionally I'll see what they post and so on. So it has been beneficial to me because I have been in a few of them. I've met Linda Fisk on through your WhatsApp group, Lead Her Ship, and we've had a couple of face-to-face talks like this one. So it's been good. I like it, and I'm grateful that they're there. They've been helpful.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Now, how often do you go out and actually meet some of these people?
About once a week.
Outside of Britain?
No, in the UK mainly.
Okay. Have you gone outside of the UK to do that?
Of course, many times.
And
how I spent the millennium in Jamaica.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I watched, with my wife, I watched 1999 become the year 2000.
Okay.
And we stayed in our hotel room in Montego Bay and watched New Year you know, it started.
Firework and all those things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice, nice. So when will you be back?
So my plan is to travel the world and work from anywhere. All I need
Mhm.
to work is a smartphone.
Computer or a
So
smartphone, yeah.
I, I've got a kind of bucket list, but because I've already been to Jamaica, Jamaica's not high on my list. The world is such a big place, and I'm a bit annoyed because when I arrived in Jamaica, we checked in at the hotel, and I gave the hotel receptionist €500 banknote to put in the safe, and then when we checked out, I asked for the €500 back, and it had vanished.
So didn't you speak to someone higher than the representative?
I, I, I was under time pressure to get to the airport. I didn't have time.
Hmm. As you could have gotten that back. Somebody took it up. But usually, don't you put your own money in your safe though?
Well, the whole point of a safe is to keep the money safe. Well, it
Yeah.
wasn't safe in that particular safe.
Yeah, probably because you didn't put it in there yourself.
Maybe.
Next time you want to do that yourself. But you should have gotten that back if you had taken the necessary steps. You would have gotten that back. I'm so sorry that was your first trip here.
Yes, I've been to
Uh,
some, yes, 3 times, but Jamaica only once, and I met my wife in the Dominican Republic.
okay, so your wife is from this side of the world.
No, she's from Israel. She was working
Oh,
in the DR, as it's known, when I met her.
oh, cool. Diverse. That's amazing. Okay. On your bucket list, do you plan to meet a lot of the people that you've met through the virtual world?
Absolutely, yes. I can't wait. In fact, I've grown quite close to some people that I've met virtually, and I'm really
Mm-hmm.
meeting them in real life.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Do you find this sort of thing exciting? The possibility of who you're going to meet?
Of course.
Mm. What is the most gratifying thing about what you do?
I'm changing people's lives.
Mm. And how does that make you feel?
Good.
Okay. If you could use a better adjective, what would that be?
Tremendous.
Tremendous. Okay, I like that. That's better. That's better. Um, okay. And outside of changing people's lives, do you get anything else out of creating these groups and connecting these people?
Yes.
What's that?
Money.
The ultimate reason, right? The main reason why we do what we do. Okay, fair enough. So my next three questions are not necessarily related to the WhatsApp groups that you create. If you had the ability to change anything in this world, what would you do? What would you change?
Hmm. Let me split. What would you do?
I would teach people to love, like genuinely, really love.
Good answer. I would teach people to network.
Okay. Okay, so all the introverts would become networkers too.
But then,
I was saying even the introverts would become networkers too.
Especially them, yes.
Mm. Okay, fair enough. And how do you ensure that you are in the right state of mind to go out there and interact with people on a daily basis?
Well, I'm not always in the right state of mind. If I'm tired or if it's quite hard work what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Important to occasionally take a digital detox and connect with nature and get away from all this digital noise.
Yeah, I like that. Connect with nature. That's one of my favorite things to do. So we're already on the same plane as far as that is concerned. So my final question for you, Mark, is this one. Some people don't like this question. I hope you're not one of those persons. And if you are one of those persons, I hope that you can see past any superstition and possibly give me an answer. If you could attend your own funeral, what would you like to be said about you?
Mark was amazing. He changed so many people's lives for the better.
Mm-hmm.
And I have.
Okay, Mark. If you could sum up the value, I know I said that was the last question, but if you could sum up the value that you've both received and given to others through virtual networking, how would you do that in a sentence?
By reading you a testimonial from a client of mine.
Go ahead.
Okay. There are select people in this world that choose to serve and help others as a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Mark is one of those select few. He is a networking and business opportunity rainmaker with extraordinary global outreach that can assist almost anyone in business. As a US business owner, I have found his services invaluable. In less than 2 months, he has introduced me to a global network of highly qualified individuals in and around my industry that would have taken me years to accumulate, if ever. I would highly recommend his services to anyone interested in increasing and diversifying their network locally, nationally, and globally. Boom!
Yeah, I think that's about covers it. That's definitely a good way to end it. How do people connect with you if they want to start something?
So the best way is to go to my website, MJ Consultancy, EMJAY Consultancy.com, and on there's a WhatsApp button. Click on that button and send me a message on WhatsApp.
Okay.
The second method would be to go to LinkedIn, search for my name, and reach out to me there.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Mark, for being here with me today. It was a pleasure having you. You made me smile, so that's a good thing. I hope I did the same for you. Thank you guys who joined for joining us. Thank you for your support. And I will see you next week. You've been watching Becoming Consciousness with Sharika. My name is Sharika Swaby. My guest today was Marc Jarrett. And if you need a spelling for that, it's M-A-R-C, then J-A-R-R-E-T-T. Thank you for being here with us. Have a beautiful rest of the day.
Great to see you. Take care.